Let's switch gears to college basketball. There are some heavyweight matchups tomorrow. Dylan, I need you to tell the folks out there which game is most intriguing to you. When you look at a few of them on the slate, Baylor, West Virginia, Duke, Florida State, Xavier, Villanova, which one jumps out to you?
All Baylor and West Virginia. Baylor having no experience as the number one, ranked number one prior. A lot of pressure on this team at this point. A lot of people starting to wake up to recognize how much talent is on this Baylor team and wondering, is it for real? Can they make it happen? And they've got quite the test going up against Bob Huggins and the Mountaineers, who are going to full court press you all up and down 90 feet of the floor. And that's going to be very interesting to see how that matchup plays out between a very talented Baylor team that has a very good front court. I'm curious to see how they respond to the pressure and the full court press that Huggins and the Mountaineers are going to bring. This is a perfect matchup to see them now as in that number one spot, how they respond to it. So for me, of three very intriguing matchups, and I love the Duke FSU, Xavier Villanova should be a tremendous game, but you're number one now, Baylor. How are you going to handle it, especially with all that pressure that West Virginia brings to the table?
Absolutely. When you talk about Baylor, they were a team that was unranked to start the season.
Crazy.
And have climbed all the way to number one. They have some big wins against a team like Michigan State, Oregon, Louisville, Xavier. So they have some big wins.
Best resume by far. They belong in the number one spot. And if they can add West Virginia to that,
that would be huge.
It would be something.
You call it Press Virginia. How will they handle that pressure that the Mountaineers like to put on? Bob Huggins and crew like to turn it over. So they certainly will have a tough contest on their hands.
If I'm Scott Drew and Baylor, I love this game. I love facing this Mountaineers team at number one. As soon as we get to number one, it's a great test. It's a great challenge. And that's all really the middle of college basketball is. It's all a January game is. You lose it, you lose it. And you get knocked off the number one pedestal. Who cares? It's not that big a deal. But this is a game that's going to teach you something about who you are going forward. And it's going to be a learning lesson type game that will bode well for your experience once you get to conference tournament time. Later on within conference play, and then certainly conference tournament, and then the big dance, because the Mountaineers will be in the big dance, so will Baylor, and this is a real opportunity for Scott Drew and the Baylor Bears.
Last couple of games have been close for Baylor. Just a 2-point victory over Iowa State, 4-point victory over Oklahoma State. They go on the road to face West Virginia.